Yeah, good afternoon, everyone. So let me just set the context for this. As you know, there are three R's is what we are talking about. One is reimagine, reinvent, and revenue. Basically, with the evolving landscape of the out-of-home industry, where there's so much of changes happening, we just thought that I'll start with you, Mr. Raj. Yeah. So, what do you think the dynamics of the business has changed? With especially the changing landscape of Watch.
Yeah, so as we have been going through so many sessions since morning, I think there's a lot of shift that is happening from traditional to digital out of home to transit media to airports. There's a lot of infrastructure development, as you can see all around. So earlier the billboard, which was the main saving grace for outdoor, as they call it, has evolved over the years. And today, we are talking about traditional media, actually losing out to different new entrants into the space. So, airports, as you know, with the growing infrastructure, more number of airports, you have a larger amount of TGs that you can actually reach out to, in terms of premium brands, luxury brands, actually focusing on outdoor, and which is something which was not earlier a part of out of home. So these are things that have actually added on to the changing landscape. Apart from that, a lot of interactivity, a lot of engagement, a lot of data, a lot of metrics. So, outdoor is not what it used to be earlier. It is not just about impressions. It is not just about an impact, which was traditionally what outdoor was all about. It's also about engagement. It's also about connecting with the consumers at the point of sale, connecting with the consumers at transit points, at metros, actually attacking each segment of the funnel, whether it is the top of the funnel or the middle or the bottom of the funnel. So that is how out of home has evolved over the years.
Since you come from a brand, so that perspective, can you share some of your experience in out of home as a brand marketer, and especially traditional versus digital out of home? I mean, these days you have so much of digital out of home options, and there is a challenge in terms of share of voice, especially when it comes to digital. So how do you decide in terms of traditional versus digital?
Yeah, I think thanks for the opportunity. We're talking about 3 hours. We don't have 3 hours at the moment here. We have around 40 minutes. So I'll quickly talk about our approach when it comes to really deciding on the OH strategy. I think, one of the things which we are very clear on is that we need to have a very well thought out strategy and a plan. So we start off with the objective, in terms of what we really need to achieve. And then we stitch a seamless strategy or a tactical around it. So I'll just talk about giving some examples. We at Godrej, we have been working on creating a category for home safes. I'm sure some of you would be using it. The challenge for us was, how do we really create this category in terms of adoption? Because the penetration levels were pretty low. So last year what we actually ended up doing is, we said, okay, can we really build this category? And how do we really use this outdoor thing in a different way? So what we did is, we actually created a larger than life safe, and we actually converted the containers which ship our goods, and we created that into looking like a safe. We painted it with a digital lock, and when you look at it, it looks like a big massive safe moving around in the town. So that was something which we did, and it was so very exciting for people, and especially we banked on the fact that there's a huge amount of traffic on streets. So that was something which helped us to create a mobile billboard, and that actually got a lot of eyeballs. It was very impactful, and I could actually get a lot of reactions from my friends, from a lot of our customers, from our channel partners, saying this is something which is really making a big difference. So this is one example where it was a well thought out strategy which really worked. Secondly, of very recently, where we actually decided that let's see whether we can utilize the Mahakumbh platform, and we said that can we stitch something around it rather than doing something one-off. We said let's look at the Prayagraj airport, and of course we never thought that this could be so, the thing could be so successful, because the footfall was amazing, and we actually went about stitching a solution or stitching a plan, wherein we actually went out, used the airport, to promote our products. And as the customers would actually get out of the airport, we had these auto rickshaws who also carried out the same theme. So, it was a very seamless kind of thing, where, you see a product, you see a brand, and, what's more important is that, when are the customers vulnerable? So when you're traveling, you're out of your homes, you actually start thinking about, are my valuables safe? And that is the time you actually catch their eyes, catch their eyeballs. And as they move out of the airport, suddenly you have 3,000 auto rickshaws also carrying the same brand, so it's like a continuity which was maintained. So we said, okay, let's, and this has been our effort to really work out things which are like a plan, which, not just do some, one-off thing or something. So we refrain from doing that. And that gives us a great opportunity, to really work out, as I said, a complete solution, a seamless solution to create that high impact. So this is the way we actually, go about the planning.
Yeah. Mr. Saibal, with you? Yeah. So you've done some great job on sustainability, solar billboards. We've seen some of the great job that you've done. So something about those kind of new kind of concept that you came out with, and and you actually communicated it well through like your communication platforms also. So it was pretty good. So can you just throw some light on how creative makes a big difference, especially when it comes to innovative medias, like whatever you've done last year?
Thanks, Lakshman. See, our topic is reimagine, reinvent, and revenue.
Okay.
So you know what? In business, we always say competition is healthy, right? But competition is not at all healthy in business, right? So you'll have to create your own space, right? So creative monopoly business only happens when you reimagine, reinvent, and the revenue comes to those people only who do different, right? Otherwise, Google would have not happened. And Google today is what Google is. It was not there when it was in 90s or in 2000, right? So in our business, what is happening right now in outdoor? Outdoor, everybody is working only taking billboard tenders and doing that the same thing. Because then the competition is happening and rate game is happening, and it's not worthly, right? So this is right time, and the topic which was there, it was very touchy to me, because it is the time where you have to do different. And outdoor is such a platform, outdoor is such a canvas where you can do hell lot of things. You can create engagement with this, you can create impact with this, and with creativity you can create that canvas so colorful that brand will be definitely remembering by the consumers, right? So this was one of the innovations which you are talking about, that where we had used solar billboards and solar wall wraps, right? There, we found there is an opportunity in wall wraps which is there in the rural areas, and sustainability can play a big role, because in rural India still this is a big thing, because because electricity is a big problem, and permission getting from the authority also in UP and in other states is now getting restricted. So there was an opportunity, and we have done that. And that's how actually I feel that we can do a hell lot of things, integrating technology and creativity together, and a hell lot of innovations will be coming and will come in the future, and that's what my submission is.
Yeah, Dipankar, yeah. So, these days, data metrics has evolved so much in out of home. I think in the last couple of years it's evolved so much. So how do you think data science has improved in planning and measurement tools? And what is the accuracy of it? And how much of percentage of smartphones are tracked in the total universe? Like kind of, so number of smartphones available in the country should be 100 crore plus, but how much of is it captured? And how accurate is the data that is available for the measurement metrics?
There are too many questions in this. It's okay. I'll just break this up part by part.
Yeah.
Okay. First is, forget the accuracy part. Let's talk about the matrix part of it. See, there was a time when we didn't have any figures. It was all gut feel, right? All agencies put their money behind it, and they built their own systems and processes and matrix, and they came up with figures. Today, IOAA is pushing a planning tool, and that has brought some amount of, it brings everybody to the same table. Okay. So that's a huge leap, I would say, that something of that sort has come into the market, something which everybody can use it. They can use the same language. So the language was missing. That is there now. So that's a big leap, and that's helping. Second, how is it helping? Okay, today you are getting, may not be accurate, and it is not accurate. Let me be frank. But yes, you are getting figures, right? I mean, today you're getting impressions, today you're getting reach, today you're getting frequency. It's bringing you at par with other media in terms of the matrix, right? That's the second big thing which is happening. Okay, so how is it helping? Okay, I'll just give you a very simple example. Today, when we have a client who's going into some 160 odd markets. Okay, now previously when we used to plan, we would say that, okay, take a place like Gaya and put in 7 sites. Okay, now you didn't have any, I would say, reason to put those 7 sites, because we feel those 7 sites would be enough for a city like Gaya. Now that you have matrix, okay, when you have reach figures, what it actually does is, it tells you that when you're going beyond the 5th site, you're not getting incremental reach. So when you're not getting into it, you're wasting money in a place like Gaya, right? That's a big thing. So what you're doing is you're getting the right kind of budget, right kind of planning for your clients, okay? As far as accuracy is concerned, nothing is accurate in this world, right? This is not Operation Sindhu that I know, where the Maulana is sitting and I'll be bombing that place. I don't know that. But thing is, yes, because see, you don't have, outdoor is a very, very, very localized media, yeah? At the same time, I don't know here in Andheri, how many male, female, what is the NCCS that is here? I don't have that the figure for Andheri, but I know overall Mumbai. So there is some amount of, averaging out that you do and find out that, yeah, this is the kind of media, this is the kind of TG that you. So those ifs and buts are always there. But yes, now that you're using figures, it somehow gives relevance to your planning. That's as far as accuracy is concerned. So nothing is accurate. For that matter, there is nothing accurate about it. But yes, today you have figures, you have third-party data which is coming in, which is telling you that so many impressions this particular site is getting. You have to take it with a pinch of salt, maybe. But yeah, that's there. You can't help it. It is better than having nothing.
Yeah, something is better than nothing. Yeah, Mr. Alok, so what are the government policies do you think that needs to be standardized to improve accountability, one, and especially with the evolving landscape? And the other one that you see is that, every city has got its own bylaws, like kind of, certain cities have large format, certain cities have challenges in large format, how do you think this will move forward from here on, especially with the largest smart cities, a lot of 100 plus smart cities coming in next 1 or 2 years?
So outdoor is an outlier media. I mean, we are not only in media industry, we are also in real estate industry. So we're a mix of media and real estate. So that's why we are locally regulated. We are not nationally regulated like other mediums. And that's why it can be a perennial issue also, it can be a perennial opportunity also, that we'll be always dealing with the local regulators. There's no national outdoor policy which can really govern this industry. The opportunity that lies is obviously, since it's a hyper-local medium, the local regulators are much more immune to the fact that what can be the traffic regulations which can impact this media, and that's why we lack standardization as an industry rule, that something which is applicable in Delhi is not applicable in Mumbai, is not applicable in Bangalore. We cannot have same sizes for a client which can be used all across India. So a single outdoor campaign might be modified into 10 to 15 different outdoor sites, sizes, and be executed. That's where the reimagination comes in. That's where the creative agency's role comes in. And that's where the hyper-local mode of the media comes in, that how a consumer in Chandni Chowk can be a different consumer than a consumer in Mumbai's bandstand. So that's, if the reimagination is there, then the reinvention obviously is there, and revenues can increase. We have looked at campaigns wherein the media owner or the media agency works along with even the regulators or the media owners and cracks campaigns on a very local basis. So that's where the overall pie can increase, and that's where when all these stakeholders talk together, leaving aside their differences, that's when we see the true magic happens. Regulators today are very open to innovation. It's not like 20 years ago or 30 years ago when there was a specific Lakshman Rekha which was put and you cannot cross it. Today regulators are very open, be it airports, be it metro stations, be it railway stations. There are a lot of innovations which can happen, but then 4 to 5 agencies have to sit together and plan those innovations.
Okay. Yeah. So there's another question on this is for you, Yuvraj. See, with the emergence of digital out of home, see, the traditional format of creating impact was like, take large format, static, create impact, and then if you want to build frequency, a smaller format. But with the emergence of digital out of home, there's an issue with share of voice always. So how do you create impact? Like earlier days, it used to be pretty easy to create an impact, but with the emergence of digital out of home, there's a lot of clutter. So how do you create an impact?
Okay, so when it comes to digital out of home, obviously, you are sharing the same space with multiple brands, and that is where your share of voice gets affected. So the best way to handle the situation is creativity. So using the right creatives, that actually stand out from the clutter. Choosing locations wisely, so you have to look at contextual targeting, you have to look at location-based targeting, you have to do, you have to use the measurement metrics properly to understand the kind of TG that you're actually reaching out to in specific locations. So these are the parameters that you typically have to focus on if you have to, make good the share of voice that is lost due to clutter.
And with Pushkar, generally when you look at an out-of-home plan, do you go location-based or do you want to map the audience and go audience measurement-based? How do you look at it?
So I'll talk about this particular point more from the perspective of ROI. I think
exactly.
Brush that topic. And see, one of the things which we try to do is we try to keep things simple. When it comes to ROI. I'll give you an example again. We have a process where we go in a very structured manner to open outlets. It could be our own company-owned outlet, or it could be a distributor or a retailer. What we back it up with is more about the billboards which are very close to that new outlet which comes in. And we try to drive the traffic to these newly opened stores. One of the things which I think today which we are trying to do is get the QR codes embedded into the entire billboards, where maybe you can scan things, you can get a coupon, you can get a discount. And the whole idea is, how do we drive the traffic to these stores? And of course, even for the existing stores, we could be doing something during the festivals, or because that is the time when, again I'm talking about the Home Safes product. So that is the time when people actually go in for buying this. For us, it's very simple. What were the footfalls before the thing is put up and after the campaign? It's very clear for us, because otherwise, I get into too many kind of data points and we actually get lost, in terms of calculating the ROI. So we try to keep it very, very simple. So we actually have dovetailed the digital part into the traditional way of the outdoor advertising. So that is one part of it. And the other thing which I thought I must share with this audience here is, we try to do a lot of things very differently. And my team actually, my narrative to them is, try to bring in a surprise element, because otherwise what happens is, only a billboard, you actually have a fraction of a second, and expecting your customers to really see that and take action, it's very difficult. And I'll give you an example here. What we did is, we actually said, okay, how do we make the outdoor advertising much more effective? What we did is, we actually tied up with Air India. And some of their flights, we actually, had issued some coupons, on board when the customers were on board. And as they, landed, say for example, in a Lucknow airport, we had created a larger than life safe when we did our Desh Ki Tijori campaign. So that was a very impactful kind of thing. And when the passengers landed in the airport, they actually had coupons. And we had given them a particular passcode, a password. So they could actually go to the larger than life safe, punch in the password, and they could get a gift. So this was more like a surprise, and we actually saw long queues, and people were waiting. Just before even their luggages came in, they were actually waiting in long queues. And this was a terrific surprise and a wow moment for them. So a billboard created there on the airport with a larger than life safe, people getting a gift out of it. So it was more like, a complete mix of various elements put together, which created a very high impact, and of course that entire thing was then amplified on the digital platforms, all your Insta and the social media, as to how the customers were thrilled and, taking some of their bites, saying, what they feel about this. So it was something which was a very, very different kind of campaign. I'll take one more moment to just share with the audience here as to, something again which was experiential and very different. And this is beyond only the billboards, and we spoke about how do we reimagine, how do we reinvent. So we actually thought about the cinemas as a platform. And we said, can we go beyond only showing a commercial on the screens, maybe during the interval or something. And it was, I think, Singham again, that was the movie I'm just thinking about. So what we did is, we had, during the course of the interval, we actually, when the movie was being played, we had Singham call some of the audience, there in the theater, and talk about, that, okay, you are here, but, do you know where your valuables are? Are they safe? Are they stored in a safe? So, and customers were actually, and this happened on the screen. And it was such an immersive thing, that suddenly you have the hero of the movie calling up some of the audience and, creating that wow moment, creating that surprise element. That was very engaging, So these are the kind of things which we try, experiment it. Some of them are really effective, create a high impact. And we're seeing that our share of voice, which we measure, is really improving by the day. Today, I think in the security category, we are more than 90%. And thanks to these kind of initiatives which my team comes up with. But the advice is very clear. Do something very different, do something clutter breaking, and the same theme, around reinvent, reimagine. I think that's something which is very important. And it is really helping us.
Yeah, and Saibal, you spoke about how creative was important in your sustainability campaign and all. But how do you think technology is shaping up in the next generation of overwatch advertising, and how much of importance is these days the brands are giving for data, especially today in rural areas? Of course, in most of the urban centers you have a lot of data, but in rural, yes, it's still a challenge is what I feel. I mean, since you have a lot of experience in rural marketing and stuff, I don't know, you will be the best person to tell this.
Laxman, see, today what exactly millennial and Gen Z basically likes, it's bit in urban or in rural, both. We'll have to accept it. We do not want to see advertising. Advertising is a dying concept in the marketing. This is the reality. Today we do not want to see advertising. We don't see TV nowadays. Now Gen Z and millennials hates to see TV, and it is going down. Newspaper advertising is a dying thing. We all know. This is the reality. The shift is going from radio to OTT, newspaper to different application-based news things, and TV to OTT, and this is the reality, right? The only thing which is existing, that is outdoor in ATL. In ATL and BTL will not be there in the future. It will be only one thing which will be experiential, right? So advertising is going to be the experiential. So today, if you'll ask any Gen Z and millennials, have you seen this? Or you take this chips, you see this, have you ate this chips? He will say that let me try, let me experience it, let me have the fragrance of this product, right? So when 5 senses will get touched, and that creates the experiences. If it is not 5 senses, more than 1 senses when it gets touched, it creates experiences, right? Now how to do and how to touch these 5 senses? That is with the storytelling. Storytelling will be the next future of our business and any of the marketing business, right? And where our role plays more vital, because our canvas is so large, where you can integrate storytelling with creativity and with creativity. Your technology and with the creativity. So technology you will have to integrate much, be it in urban or in rural. So when we'll do this properly, either AI or projection mapping or sensory based things or interactive projections, all this when gets integrated together with the outdoor medium, it is going to play a vital role, and this will be going to the future of outdoor.
Okay, that's good.
Sorry, I want to chip in. Saibal, sorry about it, but I need to interject here. I think when you say advertising is moving out, I know we are talking about outdoor and all that, but let me tell you, and it was a shock for us when we were exploring traditional TV. I mean, OTT anyway, you have Geo, Star and all that, but traditional TV, when we were exploring IPL, the kind of costs which they were asking for was mind-blowing. Mind-blowing. We actually decided to opt out of it. So I still feel that, and I think everybody here has that experience, but one needs to really, not undermine the traditional advertising, because otherwise nobody would be paying this kind of price.
I agree, sir, but you might
I just thought I'll...
No, I agree with you. But you know what? You also see IPL, I also see IPL. But what 2 brands are visible in IPL? One is that Dream 11, I believe, not Dream 11, Poker was your Dream 11. So Dream 11. Dream 11 is visible. Dream 11 is visible because their investment is very high in the particular medium, and Campa. This 2 brand is more visible. So many investment has happened on IPL. How many eyeballs gets generated and what ROI they are getting? And I am talking about the taste of Gen Z and millennials, because we are working for that generation, right? We are generation that people basically work for that generation of Gen Z and millennial. What is their taste? Their taste is shifting from normal traditional medium to the upcoming medium. Yeah. So that is where we'll have to work on. There, that reimagine, reinvent, and revenue can be seen there. Right.
I just like to add a point here. So every media has its place in the media plan. You know, it's not that outdoor is the only medium that works, or TV or digital, or whichever medium. It all depends upon the objective of the campaign. It depends upon what exactly you need to achieve, and on that basis, the media mix is decided, right? So whether it is OTT or radio or print or whatever, everything works, but it has to be used in the right way.
Pushkar, one small question. Like you said that you evaluate your campaigns as pre, and post, like after and. So assuming that you've done it in a couple of other medias also, like mainline or some other, then how do you bifurcate it? Right? How do you arrive at a success of this particular out of home?
No, so I'll tell you, see, there is a very clear differentiation between what we do for digital, because we have our own shop site. We are also on Amazon, we are also on Flipkart and the other. So when it comes to digital, there is a good amount of work which we are doing on the digital platforms, on Instagram, and we try to drive traffic to the virtual platforms. So there it's very clear, whether, how many eyeballs, how many visits, how many clicks, how many people visit our shop site, or what is the kind of conversions, or what are the kind of searches which come into play when it comes to, and I have, what we do is we also monitor how many searches are there with price points. So when they say Godrej Safe, what is the price? These are the kind of searches we track. And there is a, sudden boost which we find, which gives us an idea that yes, the ROI is definitely there in place. When it comes to the billboards and when it comes to outdoor, it is more in terms of driving traffic to the conventional stores. So there also it's very clear, in terms of footfalls. So we can differentiate, otherwise we don't get into it. If something is really in thin air, which we can't measure, we will say, no, let's forget this. We don't want to do it, because, today otherwise you do something, you spend money, and then you realize, I don't know what exactly is the output. So we are very clear. We want to drive numbers. We want to drive ROI. We want to keep checking it, keep correcting, keep refining, and keep reinventing. That's the whole idea.
Okay. Yeah, Dipankar. Yeah. So, how do you see of late the brands? Especially when they talk to you, how are the brands' clients' mindset towards out of home, especially now when you have a lot of data available, and the new digital options which are available, and especially the challenges that we face in digital options is that share of voice has been a challenge. Is there been a issue that clients are hesitant on spending on it, or how do they comfortable in doing it with the new thing, or how is it?
See, that's where the agencies like us come into the play, right? I mean, that is the value that you bring to the table, okay? First and foremost, telling the client which is going to work, and that's where they have been harping on the storytelling part of this the thing. How do you build a story around the campaign? Yeah. See, right now, I mean, now outdoor is not looked upon as itna paisa hai, hoarding laga dena. That's not outdoor anymore, right? We have moved away from that positioning to where we are saying that what is outdoor going to deliver for you, right? And that's how you are going to build the story for that campaign. Where do you want to create that impact? Where do you want to bring experiential part into the picture, right? Where is DOH going to play a role? How is DOH going to play a role? All these factors, all this expertise is what you bring, and that's when you get a good campaign, right? So that's what the agency does, and that's what we bring to the table. Coming to Matrix, yes, the Matrix helps in bringing. So I'll just give you a simple example. When during COVID times, when everything was shut and outdoor was hit massively, There was one piece of data which helped people get onto outdoor was Google mobility data. If you remember, that it used to say people are traveling here, people are traveling there. These are the 5 places that people are going to. That's what brought some amount of credibility to outdoor. That's what brought the brands back into outdoor in a little way. But yes, instead of shutting it completely, they came out. Right now, it's doing the same thing. With this data that we are able to provide, with the tools that we have in hand, with the data that we can buy, it's giving confidence to the brands that yes, outdoor delivers, yeah, but how it delivers, that is the story that we tell them, okay? How much it is delivering, the ROI part of it, that's what we are showing it to the brands, and that's what the whole story is all about, right? So hence it's a mixture of your market intelligence, it's a mixture of your planning expertise, it's a mixture of your data, and how you use the mix of the various media that you have available. That's the value you bring to the table, and that's the value that the client is ready to pay for.
And how much of creative and communication or any kind of an innovation makes a difference in?
All three are different. But yes, creative outdoor is the biggest canvas that you can get, right? In terms of creativity, and creativity is not just about creating. It's as I said, it's about how you tell the story. Yeah, it's the storytelling capacity of the brand which creates the brand. So yes, creative is there. Today there is n amount of technology. It's how you use the technology. I'll just give you a very simple example that we did something for our client ABCL. So it was a simple campaign. It was about Bude Hoke Kya Banoge. It's like everybody wants to be something once you become old, right? So what we did was we just took a digital board and we created a booth in front of it, and one would click a photograph and say that you would scan, there's a QR code you scan, and you say that this is what you want to become when you become old, yeah? And it takes your photograph, changes it, AI changes it to that older form of you, with a kind of canvas that you want to become, the profession you want to take up, or the kind of work that you want to do, and it projects, okay? It's an experience. It's experiential. At the same time, you're telling a story. Yeah, and you're bringing the concept of the campaign across. Yeah, so all those 3 things put together, that creates a campaign. It becomes viral, and then you use social media and all the media to support it. So creative, yes, there is a strong creative, there is a strong thought behind it, and there's a strong story to it. So all 3 put together.
Basically, creative, data, and tech.
Exactly.
Yeah, and Mr. Alok, since coming from a media ownership thing, since there's a lot of changes in the landscape of out-of-home now with the emergence of digital and all these things. So, as a media owner, how do you think the clients and agencies react, or kind of are they okay in? Is there any hesitancy in coming out, spending on digital out-of-homes? What are the challenges that you see that you face?
So again, rather than the challenges, I'd rather see the opportunities that are coming along with DOH. Earlier, we are still working a lot with the agencies. We work with the clients directly. But now we started getting queries from digital agencies also. So this is a new segment which is coming, because they are also looking at impressions for their client. They are also looking at performance marketing numbers for their client, and they're exploring DOOH as a medium. So, the number of impressions that DOH has on offer, it's amazing. It's too much. So beyond the traditional out-of-home agencies, a lot of new digital agencies are in talks with media owners like us. So today our portfolio for digital out-of-home would be 25% of our overall out-of-home, which is quite a steep number compared to local traditional out-of-home owners. And that's why we are attracting a lot of new age clients to the medium. It's a sunrise sector as of now within the out-of-home domain, but we're pretty sure in next 5 years it'll be a dominant force. So future is full of excitement and opportunities that ways.
25% is a big number.
Yeah,
Because
yeah,
as per,
it's a big
Madison
number.
report, it was 10% overall, and
Yeah,
yours
it was
is 25.
10% overall,
which
but
is-
we started digital 7 years ago.
Okay.
It was a leap of faith, and ever since we've grown with the new tenders.
Okay, done. So can we give a closing note saying that, the old way of doing vanilla business, plain out of home, is done and dusted, and future will be defined by, creative-led, data-led, technology-led. Is that fine? Yeah?
Definitely, rightly said, creative data and technology. Somewhere down the line, I also feel that clients have to be more open to innovation in outdoors. We look at a very closed-ended positioning when clients talk about out of home. They're not willing to experiment, with due respect to everyone, because they have standard formats which are coming from abroad. They have a standard guideline. They don't want to get into mess with regards to
A
regulatory
small
issues.
correction, client willing to experiment without any extra cost.
I just have a point on that. Client is ready to pay for any kind of innovation as long as you can tell them that what it is going to deliver for you. If you are not able to answer that, there will be no innovation. If you can say that this innovation is going to catch so much eyeballs, it's going to do this to you, if it goes viral, this is the kind of impressions you're going to get. Whatever. I mean, there has to be end point to it, and you need to say that what it's going to deliver at the end of the day, client is ready to spend, and we have seen it.
So, right, done. Hope you all had a good session.